And not only that, because Rival are first banning Sarkett, they're kind of enticing now the Aphrodite to go through, because that's an option that you don't want to deal with if you're picking Aphrodite. There's two gods in particular. One of them is Odin, the other is Sarkett. Rival eliminate one of them, Dignitas eliminate the other, get their Aphrodite pick for free. And honestly, they need more ways to just shut down this late game potential of the Afro.
And I actually found the reference set even. It was against a United, their very first game, where Rival chose to go for the Odin. When I talked to Alpha Jackal asking him about it, he said the Odin pick happened as a result of just like them reflexively expecting an Aphrodite to be there because of how often Dignitas would pull it out.
Well, Rival in that first pick slot, once again, they're down 3-1. Right now in this best of 7, meaning their backs are against the proverbial wall. Sarkett the first ban, as it was the last time they were first pick in the last game of this set. Raw ban again by Dignitas. They refused to let Wlfy have that selection. Now Rival banned Giannis here in game 3, and I'm curious if they're going to go back to that, because maybe they want to try and first pick it as they did in game 3 of their previous set against Dignitas yesterday. But then Dignitas answered with Sarkett Sobek. So alongside a Sarkett ban, I think that Dignitas would have potential to go to Terra in that situation.
I was going to say they should ban Sobek, allow Giannis and Terra to go through so that they can get one or the other at the very least. Because it's clear that they want the Terra, but at least now, this time around, getting the Athena as opposed to the Sobek.
Yeah, first pick Sobek last game, I just don't think is right.
I think Dignitas have to take Nemesis here, though. Because Nemesis wasn't banned away in the first 2 picks, so Sobek, I think, was just the reflexive pick, and there's a Nemesis. Yeah, Dig don't have a choice here, because then Rival end up with Athena, Poseidon, and Nemesis, and that's going to be the combo that they want every single day of the week.
Interesting. Odin hovered here, so I was going to say Cullen is the selection, I think, in my mind, right here. Now, iceicebaby's played an awful lot of Odin jungle during his time in the SPL. That was during Season 4 when warrior junglers were a little bit more prevalent. And it is a little bit scary to pick into a Nemesis jungle to guarantee that much frontline. But I still don't think I'd mind Odin Cullen as 2 picks here. Give Odin to iceicebaby, give Cullen to Deathwalker, just try and dominate that right side of the map.
But then you're just already all the cards on the table with the frontliners. If you do the Odin and Cullen with Athena locked in, they still keep some question marks in the air that Dignitas has to answer in the secondary ban phase. Some bans can easily be wasted away if they take away jungler assassins, knowing that Rival could potentially do this Odin in the jungle.
Now, I love this Odin Discordia. Last game, it was in this spot Rom Thoth, and the Thoth was trying to keep Zyrhoes off that Thoth because he played so well. But Thoth doesn't do particularly well into Odin, whereas Discordia has a much more positive matchup there, can get out of the Odin cage, can cripple him out. I think that this is just Rival saying, yeah, we know you want Thoth Zyrhoes, but go ahead.
I think that Wlfy, although he's played a really strong Discordia, I have mixed feelings about it into this particular composition from Rival, and I say that mostly because I don't think that Discordia will have the follow-up that you'd necessarily want against the Odin, but the amount of chaos and control she could possibly bring in some of these team fights, and that most people are going to usually try to juke around the Strife, for example, or that giant apple just like bouncing every which way in the jungle. It could be problematic, but the Thoth pick is nice because it's going to be able to punish anybody from Rival trying to collapse inside of that Odin cage.
This is how Rival beat Dignitas during Super Regionals when the Thoth was selected. This Odin pick actually kept the distance far enough away. Whether or not Zyrhoes was caught in the cage, she just wasn't in range of the certain outside aspects of these team fights, and that's something that Rival are going to try to abuse here. None of these gods can get away from the cage. An early Phantom must be the result.
Man, this is, guys, I think this is the fabled land that we've always heard about. The land of lore, where every time we talk to pro players behind the scenes, I'm talking back to Season 2, it's like, yo, what are the pocket picks that we might see pulled out? And everyone's like, yo, watch out for Aphrodite.
This happens every year.
But it's finally happened. It's finally
here. They
here.
legit say that every single
That's
year.
what I'm
They're
saying.
just like, bro, who's going to be the first team to play Aphrodite? Because we all know she's good. And then finally, Dignitas get the gall to do it. And
here we are. We're
not having to call any bluffs now.
Afro has been picked or banned in every game so far this set. So
reminds me of the launch tournament, actually.
Yeah, it kind of does, right? Hachiman, not around during the launch tournament. Not going to be around in this game either. He's banned by Dignitas, and Rival will ban Xing Chen and Kakulin trying to keep the pressure away. But problem is, Achilles is still open here. Should Variety want it, though, if he wants it, it'll be last pick because Rom is the second to last one for Dig.
Does this look a little familiar to you guys? Because this is giving me some heavy Game 1 vibes. Not in the sense that the God picks are necessarily all the same, but it's just that Rival have an Odin into 4 gods that do not have primary escape potential against that cage. And being locked down inside of it, I think that's why we're seeing the Hou-Yi hover, because it'd be nice to have the Sunbreaker just to drop down on top. When you have one big circle and you throw another giant one into it, can't really go wrong there.
I like it because I agree with what Tolly was saying earlier. The follow-up, or maybe it was you, Taco, whoever said that the follow-up might not be there necessarily for the Odin Cage from Discordia. Hou-Yi covers that weakness. Achilles was the final pick for Variety in the solo lane, who had a couple nice executes in his game. Then he got to pilot it earlier on. Believe that was game 2 for Team Dignitas. 3-1 now. Dig is up, and they've got a lot of picks that they really, really like here.
This feels like a bit of an unforgiving draft, though, for Rival. If they're not able to confirm picks inside of that cage or those trying to escape from it, then they're going to encounter a lot of issues and not having the damage to necessarily out-sustain the team fight.
You know what it is to me? Dignitas looks like they picked what they want to, and Rivals, every pick across is trying to react to it. Rivals seem very reactionary right now. Maybe that's part of the problem. All right, guys, in a word, do we go to another game, or are we crowning Dignitas the champions?
We're going to another game.
That was more than a word. Taco?
Yes.
Yes. I asked a bad question, so that didn't make any sense. That one's on me. Let's throw to the casters because clearly we're all out of sync.
Yes.
We're in sync.
We are.
I'm Justin.
Backstreet's back.
Not.
I got it wrong?
Yeah, but either way, the series has been 98 degrees, so it's nice and hot. There you go.
Well, funny enough, coming into this game now, think about how this has gone so far. Dignitas should have won this by now if they didn't make the mistake in game 1.
I want to bring this up, though. We've got a glass window here. Alpha Jackal just walked by.
He walks by every now and again.
All smiles, double thumbs up.
You know
so
why?
Rival feeling good.
Well, there's a reason for that as we get into this game now, and I think it's because of, well, Zyrhoes has got some absolute huge cojones on him this game. This was baited by Rival. They picked the Odin early because they're like, all right, we take Discordia, we ban Giannis and go, you want to play Toth into Odin and an Athena? You go right ahead. And Zyrhoes went, okay. So, big game for Dignitas to see them going with that pick of the Toth in the mid lane against the Ring and the Taunts. And, of course, iceicebaby. Plenty of beads burners in this situation for Rival. And it's going to be a big game for them because Dignitas are on tournament point now. 1 win for Dignitas out of the remaining games, and they will take this tournament.
And it's that finality that makes me still have faith in the Thoth pick. Sprint popped up. Everybody looking for Arkkyl.
Well, seen this a couple of times. Arkkyl took a bit more poke this time round than that Vote did last game. The Athena, definitely an interesting pick between the two, both fighting back and forward.
It was actually really funny. Trixtank in between the 2 games was very adamant. He was like, how dare they disrespect me? I can play Athena too.
Yeah,
Let me pick that.
He's like, you're not going to first pick Athena? Well, I'm going to pick it. And now this time, Rival changed their tune. Take the Athena for themselves. Start the game, nothing too unusual other than Trix and Arkkyl got a little bit outpoked over Callus and Vote early on, but wave clear is what it's all about, and that's where Arkkyl will shine at the beginning of this game.
One of the things people don't talk enough about when it comes to Trixtank is his god pool. We always talk about him being the aggressive guy, the warrior guy, but real talk, here in 2018, it's a long time since he won the launch tournament with Guan Yu, right?
Yeah, Guan Yu, Sun Wukong. I mean, he was always Hercules.
Yeah,
he was always the warrior types.
This is 5 years later. Trixtank, I maintain, can play whatever the hell you give him. Maybe not Darda's level where he's playing the Noxes and stuff, but he can play any Guardian at a top tier level.
I tell you what, Trixtank's going to watch back this tape and call you out for that one, because I tell you, he will play whatever he wants in this lane. If his team would let him,
sure.
I think. Dardes just gets the ability to... his team lets him do that more than anything else. Trixtank doesn't have that, with Zyrhoes being the man that's like, no, we will play seriously every single game.
And good for it. Zyrhoes has been really important. At the same time, letting his team breathe. We discussed this during the regular season, how important it was to have a team that's sort of loose and just hanging out, but at the same time having somebody to leash and rein you in. That's what Dignitas have. Qvo and Trixtank are going to have a ball of a time. And letting them do that is really important for the fluidity of Team Dignitas. But when it comes down to it, you need Zyrhoes to be able to bark at people and keep them in line.
It's been a lot of years with Smite, though, if you think about it. This is Season 5 after all, and some of these players have grown up. Not just grown, but grown up in terms of experience in life as well. Their attitudes has changed. They've realized when they can have fun and when they can't. And Arkkyl not having fun right now. He's one hit from death, and Boat will find the kill.
Really nice stuff there. Trixtank going to get taunted as well.
No.
Sprint not good enough. Kalis hits him with a shield wall.
Beautiful play from Rival in the duo lane. We looked for that in the last game. Not to be, but the previous ones, yet again, Rival are having the better of things in the duo lane once more.
We are on game number 3. And I've said this all 3 games. Early game pressure don't matter to Team Dignitas. They don't care. 1 kill, 2 kill. Dignitas are still sitting there. Zyrhoes like, as long as I can get my farm, homie, we're still going to Firebirds later.
Well, start this game as well, checking towards Wlfy on the Discord. He started off with the Book of Toth rush here. Obviously investing in boots. First of all, wants that extra mobility, specifically when you think he's against a Nemesis and a Toth. He's going to need that to reposition a lot of the time. But that Book of Toth will be the first thing he's stacking, so not a Warlock Slash here.
And the stacks, we'll see how it works out. Like you said, the mobility, I think, the most important thing to look at with respect to this Discordia. But going back to the Thoth pick, I actually like this specifically because you mentioned that it's tournament point. Now, Dignitas already threw away their free game by giving Rival that throw, right? But they can lose this game and still be in a good spot. So basically what winds up happening is that Dignitas, they have not to, if they lose this one, then they have to lose again, and then they have to lose again. So you go with, even though you have an Odin, I'm still the best Thoth in the world, arguably speaking. I'm going to pick my comfort selection, and maybe I get shut down and maybe I don't, but if I don't, we walk home rich people.
Oh, this is gorgeous from Rival now. They get a lead in the duel lane, and what do? Freeze the wave. Arkkyl and Trix can't really walk up. They're against an Athena and a Ho-Yi with an advantage now in this lane. Mobility being the big standout. Tier 2 boots for both. They look towards Trix and Ice on the rotation. Trix walk through. Trix is going to get away for a second.
Nope.
But iceicebaby's there to clean it up, and now he's level 5. That means trouble for Arkkyl, who may get a kill.
He's trying for it. The shots will be good.
Threaded the needle.
Trades it out right there. Nice stuff from Arkkyl again. This guy becoming a star in his own right since being acquired by this team from the Myrmidons of all teams last year. Started off as a very fresh rookie, but the guys on Dig saw something in him and they said, listen, we're gonna make you into something fantastic. And a little bit of Dig and a little bit of Arkkyl himself, and that play obviously isn't ideal, but being able to fight back into that 3v1, hats off to the Frenchman.
Variety is just running this lane now. Obviously it's Achilles against an Odin, and Odin very predictable with his abilities. Right hand side, Qvo looks to steal away the blue buff, and iceicebaby under pressure. Iceice still going though. He wants Qvo. That's going to force Qvo to ult. Now Kalis alongside Zyrhoes in support in case it's needed. Gets a good stun on Kalis, and the pressure is over.
Variety here looking to get back to his own tower. Meditation, 3 people surrounding him. Taunt into the cage. Variety in some trouble. Dashes through, able to heal up just a little bit. Still finds the ultimate out of the cage. Here comes the rest of Team Dignitas. Variety is good, and the return stance.
They got the chain onto him though. Iceice's going to get pulled Variety back in and find the kill. But while that's going on, the 2 teammates that were with him are already dead. Has the blink to run away. Has to go between tier 1 and tier 2. But guess who's cutting off the angle? Arkkyl was there. Arkyl's not got the call. He has now.
No, he's
but
hiding.
Iceice has got a wall.
That's what it is Arkyl's hiding. He didn't want iceicebaby to see him.
Iceice is having a great game for himself. He can avoid this last snipe. It won't be enough to find the kill anyway. That's a drop kill from Dig there, but a better play from Iceice.
Drop kill from Arkkyl, undoubtedly. I thought he was hiding to kind of surprise iceicebaby, really knowing that the red buff was there and wanted to see the hunter closer to that, so there wasn't an escape option for Iceice.
So I'm a bit surprised actually. Wlfy didn't go for that Book of Toth. He's gone straight into a Soul Weaver for that damage spike that you're going to get from that early on. Surprised?
A little bit, but not so much. I think I'm surprised because I would have rather see the Book of Thoth. but the Soul Reaver is going to help him do big damage early, which is what Rival's looking for right now. And off of the back of that, I mean, sure, Soul Reaver fits into what Team Rival wants to do as an overall plan. So I do like this, despite it not being exactly usual traditional.
Well, jungler lead for QvoFred at the moment. He's level 7 to iceicebaby's level 6. Even though Ice does have 2 kills under his belt to the 1 of QvoFred, the experience in gold slightly in favor of Rival at the moment, as Qvo tries to even this up with a blue buff invasion.
QvoFred successful right there with a slice and dice. No big deal. Team Dignitas, again, unconcerned. Team Rival started off to a nice bite, but Dignitas able to sort of come back here and only down 1,000 gold. And if we look at the graphs from all of the games past, this is exactly what it looked like in basically all of them.
Pretty much every single one. Callus deep in the jungle here, looking to put pressure on Zyrhoes. Trixtank trying to cut off the option. Won't find the tail whip, though, that could have cancelled Callus into an awkward spawn. Instead, Callus will escape. Has wards in his inventory, and that's what he's really looking for here. The deeper wards to keep vision of where the jungler may be going.
Wants to make sure that QvoFred is kept on a tight leash. He's 1-0-1, a kill down from Rival's jungler, but that said, still finds himself ahead with respect to experience. 8 versus 7, about half a level in truth.
Still think like Zyrhoes on the top. I'm so surprised by the pick overall. In one way, I am in the grand scheme of things, but then you think about the confidence they have in Zyrhoes to do that, and Zyrhoes in himself to go with his top pick.
That's exactly what it was. I think if this series is 3-3, we don't see the Thoth. If it's 2-3, it's arguable that we see the Thoth. The fact that it's 1-3, dude, take it. You have 2 games to throw away.
How does this feel for Rival, though, to go, okay, you're going to pick Thoth here? You're not going to pick Thoth, are you? They pick Thoth, and you're like, oh, really?
Yeah.
That shows that you're you might be a little bit concerned as a Rival fan going, well, we better not mess this up because we technically have an advantage because of this.
Sure, and that's kind of the thing that Rival have to think about. And Team Dignitas, on the other hand, Rival could sit there. There's something to be said about being over ambitious, right? Oh, clearly we've got the counter to Thoth. He always loses versus the Odin, which I maintain is the correct pick into the Thoth. But if they get a little too excited about being able to shut down Zyrhoes, Qvo and Variety can absolutely punish.
Trixtank in the jungle dashes away from the damage out from Wlfy, straight into iceice, so eats a bit more of that. Left-hand side of the map, hi-rez, we're not seeing too much of him.
Yeah, he's stayed a little bit quiet, but again, that might even be part of what Team Dignitas is thinking. Dangling Zyrhoes out there like bait. You can beat up our mid laner. Go for it, because QvoFred, Variety on the aggressive, damage-oriented solo laner instead of the defensive-oriented Aphrodite. I mean, this is a punished composition. If you invest everything into killing Zyrhoes, our friends will kill you.
And you're going to be very deep in the back lines of a team fight in there, which could split the difference too. We'll see if Dignitas can make good use of this. At the moment, gold has started to even up a little bit. We've got a bit of a 3v3 grouping going on here. Callus definitely going to be an initiator, as will Trix, who's going to look for the damage on Wlfy. Over the wall, Zyrhoes with some damage, looking towards iceicebaby. Callus getting very low, but the final judgment was aimed at iceicebaby. And in the end, the fight is a wash. 2 ults down, though, Wlfy's and Zyrhoes. And I guess I should mention QvoFred used his there, too.
Certainly going to be a big deal there. Vote gets objective vision, so nice look from the Hunter.
And going back to Vote again, I mean, hi-rez specifically, we've not seen that much of this tournament. Yet this game, he's gone with the hi-rez pick. We've seen a lot of Hachimans, we've seen a lot of Ramas, even Jingweis to an extent, even Anher. But no hi-rez. Yet again, this game, hi-rez time.
So why we haven't seen hi-rez is probably a bigger question that I'm really not ready to answer just yet. That's nice and cute. Why we do see hi-rez here, nice competition or a nice combination with Deathwalker's ultimate. Obviously, big old circle. That's as classic as Zeus.
Yeah, think about the taunt from Callus too, just to set up those suns. Will help out a lot in these team fight scenarios. So that's kind of what Rival have here, a very good team fight composition. A lot of things to burn beads, because those suns will burn the beads because of the slow that gets applied.
Yeah, it's a big deal there, trying to deal with all those suns, so got to get on out of there. But nice itemization choice from Zyrhoes here. Normally not a Warlock staff on the Thoth guy. We see the Soul Reaver come out early for him. We see some other choices. I like the decision to go into this item because he knows he's going to be the target.
Deathwalker is in a bit of pressure here. Overextended, looking to farm, has to drop the ring. Mid lane, Callus trying to put some pressure on to make sure these guys can't rotate round.
Deathwalker
to help. out. Deathwalker, though, still in trouble. Now gets Callus's ult.
Yeah, here comes Athena. She's going to go ahead and just get deleted. She started on the side. Now she's on the other side. Now she's in the ground. Ice, ice, baby. Zyrhoes humming a nice tune as he picks up number 5 for his team.
Dignitas seeing how hard they're going to ride, and straight to the Wlfy is where we're going to see them go now. Only Vote hanging around. The Suns are available. One of the greatest deniers of a Wlfy, but his beads are forced early.
And Vote's still going to get collapsed on. Jumps up above the Suns. Lands on Variety. Could take care of the solo laner. Everybody else looking at Wlfy, though.
Variety should buy in time more than anything else, and Wlfy's the one that's in trouble now. Execute was there, but Wlfy removes him. Zyrhoes answers that one back. Trix very low. 4 members of Dig still here. I don't think they can do the gold now with Callus on the way back.
They got to go ahead and retreat. Trouble is the
Deathwalker.
rotations coming from Deathwalker, though. Low is Trixtank. Low is Zyrhoes. But the ring used early.
Oh, yeah, because he wanted to make sure he could get to that little chicken that was left on his own. Bird Bomb secures. And now Rival, they're the ones that can pull the gold.
Variety made a big mistake there. Listen, when this guy ultimates, the windup is longer than Hidei Nomos.
Onto Qvo. Qvo's beats now down. Has to dash. Second dash available. It's Arkkyl under pressure. The chains are used. No beads this time for Qvo.
Jump!
Bird Bomb gets 2.
And that's the double un for the solo lane. Callus is in trouble. But Deathwalker with a nice slow with the gun gear Smite will slow everybody down
Messy
and protect
fight
his
again.
Guardian.
Deathwalker going to have that shield to absorb some of the damage, but now pinned in place, looking to lunge away. iceicebaby stripping jungle, and actually he causes a distraction, realizing they can't keep up with the Odin. Into the jungle he goes, and I've got to say, iceicebaby, even though Rival's been struggling, he's having a great finals. Great finals.
iceicebaby's had a great tournament. He's had a great tournament.
Wlfy, though, bit of trouble here. Has to
Zyrhoes,
Aegis the final judgment. Still with Callus there. Extra protections. Finally, Variety picks up the kill onto Wlfy. A series of engagements that literally have lasted like 2 minutes.
Thank God. Thank God that Wlfy dies there, because Zyrhoes, you can't miss that. I understand that, you know, even Babe Ruth strikes out, but Zyrhoes, you can't miss that. Ultimate!
The range! Cachet was huge! The Sun's on Trix. He's going to die down to Vote. Meanwhile, Zyrhoes trapped in the ring too will fall to Vote MBK. Next on the list, though, Variety will take him down.
And Callus on the run here. A little bit of a slow from QvoFred. Up to the sky goes the Hunter.
These
1
fights.
shot, 2 shot, 3
Meditate.
shots of whatever.
Meditate. Save the day, keeps Callus alive. Variety still going under the tower, has to be respectful of that. Now he's going to keep up the pressure because Ice on the right, but Ice is out of mana. He can't really get involved here.
Well, no, he's looking for the speed buff invade, but he's pinged out the whole way through. Dignitas uninterested in defending that one, as they're relatively low. Will head back to base. And credit to Ice for stopping this ridiculousness that has been these team fights.
Yeah, 20 kills in less than 15 minutes. That's madness. Especially for a game with so much on the line. Both teams just trying to find a leg up, and it's not really working out for either. If you look at the goal difference and the experience, it's marginal between the two right now. Ever so slightly in Rival's favor, but you can see how janky these graphs have been going up and down.
Well, that's one of the biggest reasons why I have one of my dottisms. The stuff after the stuff, man. You can
no
fight
chance
all day.
There's been no chance to get the
That's
stuff
my
after the
point.
stuff. Yeah.
Is that you can fight all day. You can arena simulate all you want, but you're not going to get much of a lead off of it. And it's been a great job by both of these teams for fighting back, preventing each other from looking for the objectives.
Well, it feels like round 52 at the Wlfy, but as soon as Callus and Wlfy show their face and the two people appear in the mid lane, Dignitas walk away. Sentry Walk control for Rival once again. Deathwalker rotating over here is a sign that Rival may still want to try and do something, but multiple members heading back towards the mid lane.
I like the Odin and Achilles pick at the same time.
Ring onto Trixtank, he's in a bit of trouble here. Bot has the Phantom now to get away. Bird bombed onto, Pluck cancelled out, but Ice blocked the shot. And the Apple a Day will keep the Crocodile at bay, but it does force Deathwalker to at least go in to secure the kill.
Blink burned, though. I do think that kill was important enough to burn a blink, probably. But that relic will be on cooldown, so no initiation for the Odin man. Fury started by Rival.
Keep an eye on Zyrhoes' final judgment as best secure in the game for taking out that Wlfy, but Variety is very low. Has to juke out of the Suns and ult, but he can't get away in time. Vote gets another kill for himself, and now Rival head back towards the goal.
And Wlfy brought down 90%, 80, there's 50. Dignitas trying to sneak on in here, but Deathwalker keeping a couple of them at bay. QvoFred shows up a little bit too late. iceicebaby blinked.
Beautiful play from Qvo, but he uses double dash. Has to find the ricochet there. Does vote, but a respectful decision to fall back again from vote. That could have been dangerous for him if any damage from Zyrhoes came through. Wlfy to rival. They do lose iceicebaby. And with that, the gold lead extends a little bit more so in Rival's favor.
So 1,000 gold, 2,000 gold, sure, no problem. Dignitas now 17 minutes in with a 3,000 gold deficit. They're not overly concerned, Graham, but here's where they start to think about the bad side of the enemy having a lead.
Great work from Callus there. Just denied that whole tier 1 from going down. Clears the wave, keeps Zyrhoes busy too. Trixtank can't bring that down on his own, otherwise he'll tank up too much damage. So tier 1 stands in mid for the time being. It denies that gold from Dignitas, which is what you're always after losing a gold Fury.
You want to make sure that you can at least have a response, right? We see teams looking for the Pyromancer. That tier 1 tower is really the de facto objective to look for.
Interesting, Arkkyl not going for the Rage this time, went for the Execution. Is that because of there's more, dangerous targets on this team or something?
I think so. Looking at the Executioner this time around, I think it's because of Deathwalker and how he's building directly into the physical protections. With the Zhongqi, he was building all power, and sure, he has the protections through other means, but the crit will kind of chew through that. The Odin, a little bit of a different story.
Pyromancer started up. Arkkyl is split pushing and will get a tier 1 on the left-hand side in response. Deathwalker in mid. Went for the blink and ring, but didn't find Zyrhoes or Trixtank there. Tier 2 now being looked at with Qvo alongside, and Qvo is hiding. He's the sneaky bait man waiting for the rotation. Vote's going to be the first one here. Arkkyl meets in the jungle, rolling from Arkkyl, but into the Suns he goes. And Arkkyl took more damage than he bargained for.
And there's the ultimate from Athena, going to join up with Team Rival. Arkkyl in some trouble, going to be cut down just a little bit. Can't find a way out, surrounded. And Callus gets the last hit.
In goes Deathwalker looking for the bird bomb. Finds Zyrhoes now, and Zyrhoes in a bit of a tricky position. He was trying to rotate to support his team. Trixtank can't really help. No abilities up just yet. But Deathwalker's getting a bit over aggressive there. Has to be careful that he's in dangerous territory on his own.
Trixtank trying to, I think, bait Deathwalker in a little bit there.
I think that was just lazy backs that one more than anything else, and Deathwalker recognized it, made the whole play more worthwhile.
Variety here. Not had a stellar game, 3-3 and 5, but a number of things. Basically what I'm seeing a lot of is, one, he's not respecting the amount of wind-up time that the Achilles ultimate has. We see him keep getting stuck there. He needs to cast that a little bit earlier, whether it's offensive or defensive. And also the fact that he's not as tanky as he was early or in different games. Going Gladiator Shield allows him to be more aggressive, not as tanky. And I like this build for this character. I think it's the correct thing to do. Don't get me wrong here, Graham, but the problem is that he's acting as if he was playing those other characters with the pure tank builds, and that's not where he's at.
And his lane opponent, Deathwalker, here with the Relic Dagger. Something you don't see too often, but in the right situation, like an Odin who wants this blink up and the meditation time and time again, it's a good choice.
iceicebaby is a really big proponent of this item as well. Usually on the characters like Daji or Cirquet, he really buys it on because you want to make use of those relics. The blink having a shorter cooldown, even the meditation as well, to negate what Variety's going to bring by way of the execution, if he does get that ultimate off, is a really nice look. Also provides CDR and a ton of other stats.
Rival feeling confident with how these team fights are going. It's starting to group up at this tier 2. Variety gets all in by the squad of Rival, and he will pop thanks to the apple. Iceice got relatively low in this engagement though, needs to be careful because Arkkyl takes to the sky, but a beautiful meditation out from Deathwalker makes sure his jungler will survive.
Trixtank goes underground and gets punished for it largely.
Back. Qvo.
No,
I thought he was going to do it, and I was like, ooh.
Spotted out of the ward, and that was all body language. He goes for the flank, and Rival as a unit pulled back. He knows he was seen, so he's got to walk out.
So the tier 2 will fall here. Dignitas are giving up the goose on this one. Won't be able to find it. Maybe Qvo in the mid lane gets a tier 1 tower, but Rival could get back there relatively quickly. He's going to have the minions with him, and this is trusting Qvo's abilities himself here to go for this, knowing he's got the speed buff. The rest of his team, though, are in a fight, meanwhile.
They're going to take it on the right side. Kalas already relatively low. Trixtank, however, finally being looked at. Zyrhoes going for the kill. Gets him with the finger.
Huge kill, because Trixtank is still alive, too. Arkkyl's left on his own. No ultimate available for Arkkyl. Bede's also on cooldown. Wlfy in a world of hurt, pinned in place. Zyrhoes look towards Vote. Wrong choice there, as now he's used the Aegis. Arkkyl clean up Vote because everyone ignored and went for Zyrhoes. Arkkyl's still alive, and because of this, it's a turnaround for Dig.
Well, Arkkyl and QvoFred are here, but they're relatively low, surrounding Deathwalker. And now, finally, this one looks... Look at the coverage from Variety, but Deathwalker will get out of there. But 3 players down for Rival. Finally, this exchange winds up ending. Team Dignitas 1 for 3.
Tom, you discussed this earlier. It's like, hey, if they're all going to focus Zyrhoes, the team's going to be happy with this from Dignitas, and that's exactly what just happened. All the investment onto Zyrhoes in the world. Meanwhile, Arkkyl's just able to free fire from the backlines.
Exactly, just able to do what he's supposed to. Everybody's looking at Zyrhoes because the composition is built to beat up the Thoth guy. Sure. Well, at 22 minutes in, this is where, before we saw Thoth get beat up, he's 5-3 and 5. We saw him get beat up, and Dig wasn't able to respond. Now it's late, and they absolutely can.
Dignitas pull the fire giant. Kalas on the front line, going to get stunned in place. Takes him more of a time to dash. Arkkyl ate a bit of damage from the fire giant there, and this time from Rival being wasted is good. It's allowing their team to respawn and get back to a defensive position.
Dignitas still have a little bit of map positioning in their favor. Down 3,000 gold, but again, kind of whatever.
Well, I mean, factoring the map position overall, it's just that one tier 1 tower in the middle lane that is making the difference between these two teams in map positional advantage outside of where the ward coverage is.
Sure. And also with respects to how they're positioned around the fire giant, able to step out in front of it. Misplucked by Trixtank, but not much punish.
Trix did eat a Soul Reaver proc though, so they know that Soul Reaver is on cooldown for the time being from Wlfy, just for another 30 seconds now. Soul Gem also being completed from this Discordia too, so he will be swinging on these tankier targets a little bit more so. QvoFred always lurking, always hunting, but at the moment standing on a ward.
Kalas charging things up here, Hindu, and I need to see Team Rival. They have to be the initiators almost every time, but the problem is that things are getting later and later. That initiation that looked so beautiful with the Odin damage is kind of falling.
Torn onto Trixtank, that's important, but the backup is there from Dig, forcing Deathwalker to run away. Kalas is the one under pressure. He got ulted by Qvo. Ring down from Deathwalker, trapping in a couple of targets, but Phantom is available, and Dignitas able to walk away.
Really nice separation from Team Dignitas. Qvo will get pulled and hit by the apple, but he should survive this one.
Trix went too
now,
far forward.
Here comes the rest of Team Rival, looking for Trix, but he's good.
Not tanky enough to really bring down that Trixtank there with that bird bomb. A little bit concerned with that left-hand side lane for Rival here. The minions are starting to slowly mount up in favor of Dignitas, where that Phoenix could cause some problems.
I really enjoyed what Dignitas did there in that team fight. Rival looked for the initiation, and you have 2 responses. One, Dig can just fight into it, which is what we saw them do last time, and this was the difference between the early and late game teams that I was talking about. But here we saw the other option, where they just completely disengage. Rival comes in, we got everything, and Dig goes, bye, Felicia, we'll see you later. And that was a really nice disengage.
In the grand scheme of it, though, Rival did come on top in that team fight. Look at the relics here, Tom. I mean, more of them available for Rival than that of Dignitas. Ultimates, same sort of situation. If anything, Rival in the league, because Odin's is up a little bit more often.
Yes, that is definitely true, but Rival, again, the same thing that we saw with the kills that were going on before.
Sure.
No objective after. There's no stuff after the stuff. You completed your test and did not get the prize. You passed go and didn't get your $200. So you're still only 2,000 gold up. That's whatever. And with this gold tier that Arkkyl's just going to steal outright, Dignitas will basically tie the game.
And I think that's been the issue here for Rival as we've watched them today against Dignitas. Is Dignitas have just found these objectives for free.
That shouldn't have happened, by the way.
But should the Fire Giant of Game 1 have happened? Realistically, no. This is just where Rival seems to have lost it a little bit. Like they're just not having the vision or not noticing that people are missing.
We're seeing a turnaround here, and it's funny because I don't think this is the thought process of Team Rival, but it's interesting how the cookie crumbles. Dignitas formerly not known for their objective prowess. The guys will even tell you that themselves. One of the biggest changes for me with Team Dignitas looking at last season of this is how intelligently that they're calling their objectives. So Team Rival theoretically aren't used to that out of Dignitas' playbook. This is a new play from Dig.
Hang on, this grouping up from Rival in mid, looking for a free tier 1 tower. Might have been spotted out by Dignitas, or it's a bit of a trap. Callus going to taunt Variety. Variety under a lot of pressure early on. Dashes away, and Trixtank's peel is good. Tier 1 tower falls down, and that's really what Rival wanted there. They had the position in mid, so they answered back the tower they lost earlier.
Gold's Fury goes down to Team Dignitas, and I love the decision for Rival to go looking for the gold elsewhere.
They also get a tier 1 tower on the left-hand side, to minions thanks to that. In goes Deathwalker, though, with a blink, trapping in a couple of targets. His focus was on Trixtank.
Focus was on the tower. Let the team get the money. Now Team Dignitas looking to fight back into it. Big taunt coming out from Athena, but it's not going to be good enough. Iceeicebaby looking for the control now, and both getting the damage.
Yeah, Trix is already dead. Final Judgment ripped through 3, though, and that's going to force Rival back for a moment. Members of Dignitas also relatively low. 1-for-0 exchange in favor of Rival, not counting the tier 1 tower, the tier 2 tower in mid, and the tier 1 on the left-hand side.
Wonderful play by Team Rival. You can get the stuff without the stuff beforehand. I don't know how to change my phrase.
Stuff
but
before the stuff.
Sure. You don't have to take the team fight all the time if you want the objectives. Gold Fury goes to Team Dignitas, and Rival aren't too happy about that because they tie things up. In an effort to get the lead back, they focus on the objectives. The towers go down easily, and that was what Deathwalker did. He looped around the back, caged players away from the fight because Rival didn't want to fight. They just wanted the tower.
Torn onto Variety, but there's no further follow-up available as the Ricochet was already used. Cancel that. Wlfy was there, so that's going to get Variety's ultimate. A couple of ultimates still down for Rival, but they're going to attempt the Fire Giant, knowing they forced out Variety. Dignitas, they're giving this up.
No response. No response from Team Dignitas.
No relics, is that the reason? No ultimates?
Yeah, pretty much just not enough tools. I'm pretty sure they're aware that the Fire Giant went down. Dignitas are just looking to have a good defensive set here versus Team Rival because this, being down 1,500, 2,000 gold, not a concern for Team Dignitas. Once you hit this 6,000, 7,000 gold mark, now they have to start thinking about shifting their gameplay.
Not the worst composition for defense in the world, especially with a Toth on their side. Being able to use the artillery from the back line to clear the wave and sit very far back. Still a couple of blinks for Rival, though, when it comes to Phoenix engages. And, of course, an Athena that can dash in and look for the taunts. Rival need this game.
Because of the last thing that you said, I need to see some Magi's cloaks for Team Dignitas. Their defensive prowess with the composition is all well and good, sure. I like to look at Trixtank there, but there's not a lot of other tools there. It's not like they have a great mage at clearing out the minions like a Kugel Khan that we saw Wlfy play earlier, or the Isis that we saw Wlfy play earlier. There's a lot of single target damage on Team Dignitas right now, so if they're looking to play defense, they won't be able to do it as successfully as some of the other compositions. Again, look for the Magi's cloaks, let Callus's taunts and original initiations not be as effective because you're going to need all the help you can get because this team is not composed to really play defense.
Still surprised Variety's not upgraded that Phantom just yet. He's working on his 6th item now, but that would really make a big impact in these team fights. It's very burst heavy, this comp Rival have.
It'd make a bigger impact if he wasn't playing Achilles. I'm not happy with Variety on the new god here. The idea is that he's giving up the survivability to be a little bit more aggressive, both in his itemization and his god selection, but he hasn't changed his playstyle. He's still trying to be Mr. Tankman, and it's winding up getting him killed time and time again.
We saw so when you look at the whole team from Dig, none of them can escape the ring. The one that we've always focused on is Toth because that's the one that Zyrhoes has had a go-to for, but the rest of the team, no one escapes. Everybody gets trapped inside there.
Right, but they can kind of fight into it. Attack speed, not the biggest deal for Variety, Zyrhoes, and Trix, obviously. Arkkyl and Qvo will absolutely be affected by it. So it's really, yeah, I mean, the Odin pick was, like I said, Dignitas are coming out here leading with confidence. If they lose this one, guess what? They could still lose another one and lose another one. So they were leading with swagger here.
Deathwalker, 5, 1, and 7. Initiates and gets
Block the croc.
A big kill for the team. Callus gets credit for that one. The apple came out late, or I should have said spread to Variety, And now Callis will be looking for a taunt again in a 4v5.
This time, though, Deathwalker, well, not so much low because he has that meditation. QvoFred from the back line looking for Wlfy. Still going to be turned on. Deathwalker jumps over the target. And iceicebaby going to be able to grab Variety, but everybody else going to grab iceicebaby.
Iceice a little bit low, but does manage to survive. The Phoenix being focused down. Variety, the only one on the front here, stuns out some targets, but he can't stop the Phoenix falling. Now he's going to get jumped on by Vote, and one hit should do it, but not in range to find the killing blow. Rival get what they came for, though. The Phoenix and fall back.
This is looking like a great game for Team Rival. This is absolutely their game to win right now, but they have to stay aggressive. Dignitas, if they stretch this another 10 minutes, Rival's lead will be negated.
Just waiting now for what Rival's going to do next here. A little bit low on Wlfy, I think, is the real reason. Beads are still available for him. Beads and Aegis available for Vote, but they're playing it safe, which I kind of like. It's not been a story of playing safe this entire set, but this is the first time.
Dignitas have been playing with fire since minute 1. I mean,
his picks are bad.
It's Prometheus. I mean, just gone right for it. Like you said, I mean, Zyrhoes picked into the counter pick, but just kind of trusting that he could just outplay it.
Credit to where Zyrhoes is, though. I mean, he's 5-3 and 5, but this is just forcing a free Phantom. He blinks in mid. So he didn't blink, he just leapt over, dropped the ring, and everyone in Dignitas went, oh god, are they coming? No, they weren't. They were doing the Pyromancer, but they got the Phantom on cooldown, which is going to take a little bit longer than that ring to come back up.
Like I said, I mean, here, Zyrhoes is the one that got counter-picked, or picked into the counter selection, rather, and it's not him. I think it's Variety on the Achilles that I'm just not happy with. If Variety is on one of his more defensive-oriented characters, which I think these days that has become his niche, I like him being Mr. Defensive, then I think Dignitas are in a great position to win this game. They might even have the lead. But with Variety on the Achilles, it's been a rough game 3.
Also take into account QvoFred this game, 3-1-6 on the Nemesis, but Nemesis' targets, there's not many of them to really choose from. A lot of them have escapability to get away from when you ult them every single time.
Nemesis, I'm not really concerned there. Nemesis is still able to kind of do what she does as far as chase down potential now. Very low on the damage, only 11-7, but I mean, she's higher than Daji, so.
Fire Giant started up again for the second time now by Rival. Got the first one of these for free. Looks like the second one will be the same case. No defense out of Dignitas here. It's going to be a defense of the Phoenixes to try and stay in this 5th game.
So Fire Giant one more time here. This, of course, the enhanced one. Going to give a little bit more in the way of, well, everything.
This is the dirtiest finals I've seen in a long time, by the way.
You know, it's...
And by dirty, I don't mean like disgust. I mean like...
Like hitting below the belt?
Yeah, it's just both beams all over the place.
It's a little sloppy, but that's how you like it. Extra sloppy! Trixtank pushing people out with the ultimate.
Oh, just for a moment or two, nothing really expended from either side, though. Other than, I believe, Deathwalker's blink there, which will be up momentarily. This is buying a bit of time, though, for Variety's Phantom to get back up. 30 seconds on that, and Rival will have to play around that once more, but it will at least cancel that one out. iceicebaby trying to keep Qvo towards the mid lane, but wants to make sure he's involved in this fight. Deathwalker and Callis definitely the initiators for Rival here.
QvoFred playing it safe behind the wall right there. Vision on himself, and this is a very important sentry ward.
Yeah.
Very easy. Often players put the ward over the wall. Deathwalker jumping right in.
Catches Arkkyl. Arkkyl aggressed on takes to the sky. Deathwalker took more poke than bargained for. There was a big final judgment there, but I didn't see any damage.
Oh, he needed the execute. Variety has to come up clutch there, but the meditation is going to save the life real quick. QvoFred dodges the hand. iceicebaby on the back line, but he's going to be ice isolated, and Zyrhoes cuts him down. Kill number 14 for Team Dig.
1-for-1. Callis back from base to the front line. Will have his taunt and dash available. Look towards Variety, who doesn't even need to dash. Variety in an awkward spot, still alive though, sustaining up. Not enough to survive the storm. Deathwalker credited with a kill. Phoenix falls down on the right. Left-hand side, Phoenix is falling too. Arkyl's trying to defend it as Deathwalker's ringed in two.
The catch! The ring is good! Listen, with the Athena ult, I made the Drake reference before. I said started on the side, now they made it on the other side. If you know the song, the other lyric is look alive. And that's what Dig didn't do here. Kind of sat down and let Team Rival get the game. Wake up, Team Dignitas. They tried to play this one fast and loose, got punished for it.
3-2 is the scoreline now after game 4. Best of 7, first to 4 wins. That was Dignitas' first championship or match or tournament point, whichever way you want to put it. And now Rival have another lease of life. They need 2 more wins in a row, Tom. They could do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, it is absolutely possible. This analyst does not think it's plausible, that said.
It's a reverse sweep at this stage. That's what it would have to be to try and get this through. You don't think it's plausible, though?
I think so. I had personally predicted that this would wind up being a one-loss set for Team Dignitas. And I don't think that first one counted because, again, they kind of threw that one. This was the first win that Rival had earned in this series. And watching this one go down, I think there's no way that Team Dignitas play themselves the way they did in this Picks and Bans a second time.
Picks and Bans definitely an interesting talking point. Who do you at home think deserves MVP for that set? What about you, Tom?
When it comes down to it, I mean, Rival as a whole did a great job. You know who it is? I think whoever decided to pick the Odin gets the MVP.
Well, let's head to the desk to break down Game 4.
1 down, 2 more to go. If you're Team Rival, Dignitas, they still only need 1, but Rival stay alive here in game number 5. Impressive stuff from them. I mean, what was it? Is it just the Odin? For my money, I think Dignitas is going to go back to the drawing board and say, yeah, we tried it. We cannot give Kalos Athena.
It was more of the Athena than the Odin for sure, but Deathwalker was definitely popping off there. The ability to zone away Dignitas from certain objectives allowed Rival that momentum that they needed. Got a huge gold lead around that 20-minute mark.
So far, a lot of Dignitas' early game aggression has been kind of centralized around the solo lane. We've been seeing a lot more. I guess I don't want to say like the junglers aren't really paying as much mind towards the duo. It's just that duo and mid are usually stable enough during the early game laning phases that you're not going to really waste too much time there as much as you're going to focus on your buff control and trying to keep the enemy team out from invading. But I do feel as though Deathwalker was kind of neglected by Dignitas and that they didn't seem as concerned. And then once the team fights broke out, Deathwalker was usually cleaning up. He was just playing cleanup crew the whole way through. It didn't matter if there were a pick or two and the fight seemed unfavorable for Rival. It was just Deathwalker looking to initiate and looking to keep the engagements going.
Well, Deathwalker is your MVP for game number 4 that's been played. Been 5 games in the set series. That's because Dignitas starts off with a 1-0 advantage for coming out of the winner's side bracket. 11.5 KDA for Deathwalker. He really was a critical piece for Team Rival, and this is what we kind of were asking for during the picks and bans, right? Don't give him these Guardians or the Zhonghui, whatever. Give him something that he's ready to play, that he's practiced, and that he's going to be able to make an impact on early, and that's what happened.
Going from Aphrodite in game 1 to a Sobek to Zhonghui, now to a more traditional warrior, we're seeing the comfort truly shine. The fact that he's able to brush away the last game, and all of Rival to brush away the last game, because that was actually abysmal, is impressive for Rival to get back into this best of 7, 2 games away now from claiming that throne.
2 games in a row doesn't seem that intimidating anymore, right? Like winning 3 games in a row, you're like, oh, this is going to be really hard. Winning 2 in a row, that's your normal SPL set, right? You just got to make sure that you're clean. Now, maybe that's not the best comparison for Rival because they have yet to beat Dignitas in a regular online SPL set, but overall, I feel like Rival fans where it's all, the sky is falling in the last game, now that they win this game and only need 2 in a row, you got to be feeling at least okay.
That's true, but it's 2 in a row against Dignitas here. So that gives 2 opportunities for Dignitas to kind of play defense and just see what Rival are wanting to do and kind of react to it. And unfortunately for Dignitas in this game, they were more proactive than they probably should have been. They needed to slow down the pace and kind of allow Rival to be the aggressors, but they couldn't really stop it once they got too far behind in the gold department.
And that was something else that I was really keeping an eye on was Zyrhoes' positioning all throughout this match was so impressive. I think that there were this game easily lasted as long as it did because Zyrhoes was like pretty much the glue keeping everybody still together on Dignitas. He was helping to put out enough relevant damage that way his team could find the necessary cleanups after the fact. And more importantly, I think that he just made sure to survive the whole way through. It didn't matter what was thrown at him unless the Athena started to get involved. And I think that's really where Dignitas went wrong. It was letting Kalos have the Athena pick. You know that Rival's going to take it every single time that it's open. This seems like a calculated calculated risk, though, by Dignitas. I don't feel as though it was an unintentional Athena left open. It just seemed as if they thought that they could maybe handle it and quickly realize it is still too much.
You're absolutely right. Dignitas banning away the Ra and the Terra, leaving the Athena open. I'm almost surprised that they just don't allow the Ra and the Athena to go through, let Rival pick one, get another for themselves, and kind of go around that kind of department.
Normally, I completely agree that when there's two gods that are really problematic that you need to be banning every time, that usually is your best strategy. The problem is I don't think Ra is top pick material for Dignitas. I think it's only top pick material for Wlfy. So if you put Rival in that situation, they just take Athena, say, if you want Ra, go for it, but you're not going to be operating at max capacity. And then if you don't take it, we will be operating at max.
Yeah, when I think about a player like Zyrhoes, the first couple of guys that come to mind are going to be like Soul. You've got you've got plenty of Thoth. That's definitely for sure. I think even a little bit of Aphrodite. I'm kind of surprised that we haven't seen any like mid lane Aphrodite yet from Zyrhoes, because that's also a god that I think in the past teams have rumored a Dignitas Aphrodite to happen because of the mid lane potential that Zyrhoes brings forward. But I think that overall, Wlfy and Zyrhoes have different enough play styles that I am almost curious to see whether or not Dignitas want to maybe opt to let the Ra go through and instead take away like the Athena Terra.
I think that would be a good place to start. I just really feel like you cannot afford to give Kalas Terra, or Athena rather, in just about any instance. I think I'd rather have Kalas take Terra than Athena at this point. Is Athena the stronger outright kit than Athena? No, I don't think so. But Kalas makes it look that way.
Just so much setup for Wlfy. It doesn't matter what he's playing. He has so many gods under his disposal that he doesn't need to prioritize the Ra, because that's just his style for Rival. He can also go for certain picks away from Zyrhoes, which is what he did this game. Goes for the Discordia, knowing that there needs to be a way to get away from the Odin cage, forcing the Thoth selection. And not only was the Thoth selected into the Odin, but so was the Rom and the Achilles. I don't think Dignitas had any sort of respect for this Odin pick.
Well,